I'm going to tell you the top 15 artist website mistakes I've seen. I've been mentoring artists for over a decade on how to get their websites looking really clean and professional. Confusing or vague terminology, especially on the menu bar. If you write the word installation, we don't know if that means you're an installation artist or if it's a photo of your work being installed. Bad and complicated fonts. Your artist website is not where you want to get creative in terms of font use. It oftentimes makes it a lot harder to read, and it's just a big distraction. Like when I go to somebody's website, I want to learn about them, I want to see their work, and anything that gets in the way of that can be frustrating. On a desktop, it's really important to be aware of how much people really do not like to scroll, to have to get a lot of information. For example, if you have a gallery page and you have 15 paintings and they're all huge images and you've stacked 15 so people have to really scroll to see everything, that's a problem. On a phone, it's a little bit different because it's pretty easy to scroll on a phone, and oftentimes the mobile version of your website requires that that happens. It depends on your platform and how you organize your galleries, but be conscious of that because I've tested people using websites, and at a certain point when they've scrolled enough, they just don't scroll anymore, and then they're missing a ton of your images. Not thinking about accessibility when formatting your website can be a big problem. There's going to be such a range of people looking at your website. Us older folks need extra help in terms of being able to read the text. Drives me crazy when I go to a website and the text is really tiny and it's light gray on white. That makes it really difficult. Also, remember there may be people looking at your website. English is not their first language. They're going to struggle to read something that is so tiny. Don't have pages on your website that are 100% text with no image. Any website you go to that's just tons of text, that does not hold your attention. You don't need a ton of images, like maybe on your contact page, you just have a single image and then you have your contact information. That's totally fine. But you'd be amazed how one image will get people to stay. Whereas if I see a giant wall of text, I just give up. It's just the nature of the way people read things on a website. It's not the same thing as if you're reading something in a book where you're expecting a really big wall of text on every single page. Websites, that's not the case. This is a really big mistake that can cost you in sales, exhibition opportunities, and commissions. That's when your contact page is difficult to find. I really should be able to find the contact page in about 2 seconds, and I've been to websites where I wanted to contact the person, but because I had to, like, dig to find the contact page or I couldn't find it, I just gave up. The one thing that you absolutely have to have on your menu bar is contact. This mistake might seem really obvious, but I have reviewed so many websites where I don't even know the name of the artist. That's a big problem because that needs to be really prominent. And I've seen websites where the name is tiny, but then they'll have like giant text of like a testimonial or say something about an award they won. You've got to prioritize your name. A lot of artists don't realize that when you build a website, you have to check what the mobile view looks like. It depends on your platform, but most website platforms have a view where you can see this is what it looks like on a tablet, on a desktop, on a phone, because sometimes something can look just fine format-wise on your desktop, but then you go to mobile and you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't center things correctly. Now it looks really crooked. You've got to check for that every single time because most of the time people are on their phones when they're looking at your website, and you have to account for that. If your mobile view is really sloppy and looks bad, that just makes you look that much less professional. This is the biggest mistake that I see across the board in every website that I review, and that is clutter. When I mentor artists on their websites, 99% of the time, I'm telling them to remove almost half the information that's on their website because you don't want things to be redundant. If you have your contact information on every single page, it's just taking up space. There's so many times when you really can get rid of so many words and still communicate the same thing. And I would be ruthless about it because real estate on a website, treat it very preciously. Anything that you can get rid of that will not create a problem, you should get rid of. Even small things like if your menu bar says contact me, you can get rid of the me. And it's so much cleaner. That's one of the first things that I recommend to artists is listen, before I get in there and work with you on the nitty gritty, go through your website, do a sweep of every single page. Anything that can be deleted, get rid of it. The page where I most often see clutter is on the contact page. Really what you need there is your social media, your email, if you have a contact form, your email sign up. But what I see all the time when I mentor artists is they'll write something like, "Hey, so glad that you're into my work. Thank you for visiting. You can reach out anytime if you want me to make you something or if you want to buy my work. Hey, thanks so much. Have a great day." That's nice, but the thing is, if I come to your contact site, that's what I'm reading. I'm not seeing all the other stuff first because I can't help but read that text. That basically delays me getting your contact information and contacting you. You writing that is not what's gonna convince me to contact you. Either I wanna contact you or I don't. It's not like I will read the, "Hey, thanks for visiting." That is not what's gonna convince me to contact you. Not having an email list sign up, huge problem. In fact, most of the artists that I talk to either don't have an email list or they have one but haven't really used it very much. An email list like your website super important because you know what? You have complete agency over those two things. If Instagram goes down in flames one day or there's some big problem with something being blocked, you do not want to be at the mercy of those social media platforms. Your website and your email list, you are 100% in control of where that goes. And that's why having an email list is super critical. Even if you have 5 people on the email list, it still matters. And then having it on your website ensures that people who are interested are going to sign up for that. If you don't have an email list sign up on your website, that's basically a really big missed opportunity for you to stay in touch with your audience. Because the other thing about social media is that there's no guarantee that the people who are following you are going to see your posts. The algorithms don't care about follower counts now. So somebody can follow you and never see your stuff. Email is going to show up. It's in the inbox. You don't have to worry about who's following you or what. It is so critical to have that set up early on. Don't say to yourself, "Well, I don't have a lot of followers. I'll set it up when I have more." It's like, no, the sooner you do it, the better, because email lists are not grown overnight. They take time for you to build up. With email, it is important to decide if you want to do your email list through the website platform or if you want to have a separate email provider. For example, I know Wix and Squarespace, they give you the option to create an email list inside their platform. Now, that's not what I do. I have my website, but then I use Kit as my email provider. And then inside Kit, I will create the form for people to sign up, which I then embed on my website. You don't want to have huge walls of text anywhere on your website. It's important to understand that when people are reading a website, they're in a very different mode than if they are reading a book or reading a newspaper article. they are going to look at that big wall of text and go, that's too long. I don't have the time to read it. And so they don't read anything. Whereas if you have your artist statement, which say is normally 5 paragraphs, and you just have a shortened 1 paragraph version of it, people are going to read that because they go, oh, I can read that. That's just like 1 paragraph. But people really don't want to read long things on your website. I would say probably no more than 2 paragraphs at a time, because beyond that, it's more of a time commitment. Now, what you can do is if you have something like your resume, your curriculum vitae, your artist statement, you could also have another link that says read the full statement here. So people who do want to read it have that option. Broken links on your website sends a message that this is a website that is not being updated very often, which never looks good. And also, it's just unprofessional looking. Having content on your website that is clearly out of date never sends a good impression. So, for example, if you had an exhibition in 2025 and you have an announcement on your website that says, hey, my show's opening next week, it's November 2025, 30th is the opening reception, that also sends a signal that you're not taking care of your website. For that reason, I really try to avoid having anything on my website that is time sensitive, because then I don't have to worry about it. The other thing is when things are time sensitive, it's much better to put it on social media, because then people can say, oh, yes, that's from a ways back. There's a timestamp on it. On a website, you really want to avoid that happening. This is one of the biggest mistakes, and it can waste so much of your time. Artists that I mentor in art club or one-on-one, oftentimes when I'm helping them with their website, they're doing everything out of order. For example, people usually think, okay, I need the domain name, I need to pick a platform like Wix or Squarespace. And that's all true. You need to do all of that research. But what a lot of artists do is they just start building the website. You start adding images, creating the menu bar and stuff like that. And they either don't get feedback or they get feedback at that point. And when I've reviewed people's websites, it is not uncommon for me to say to them, I think you would be better off scrapping the site, because there's so many fundamental structural problems with the website that it would be more time consuming to fix everything than to start a new website from scratch. For example, I always tell people to sketch out the menu bar first, because if your menu bar doesn't work or later on you decide to do something else, that structure, reorganizing the pages and everything, is such a pain in the butt. And so I say to people, okay, well, what are the things that you want to have on your menu bar? And some people, they want to organize it by subject matter or by commissions as you do, whatever. And you'd be amazed how much you can end up talking about what's on that menu bar. I've talked to people for a solid 15 minutes, one-on-one, even more than that, because the menu bar is where everything is structured. And if your menu bar is problematic, you're going to create a ton of work. Usually, I recommend, okay, let's have the menu bar. Now let's pick a template from, let's say, Squarespace that aligns. People usually do it the opposite way. Like they pick the template, and then they start making the menu bar inside Squarespace. And then, it's such a pain in the butt. My recommendation, get all the information about all the pieces, the sequence it takes to create a website. You're going to save yourself so much time and grief. The fastest, best way for you to get all that information and to understand the sequence so you don't waste your time is to come to our Artist Websites workshop. That is on Sunday, July 12th. I'm going to walk you through every single bit of the website. Whenever I mentor artists on their websites, you wouldn't believe how often people are missing 2/3 of the things that really make a difference, and that really you will lose opportunities. just because there was one little format thing on your website that made it hard for that person to get in touch with you. We'll talk about tech stuff. For example, a lot of artists will just make their website and they don't resize and compress their images. This is really bad because what that means is your website will take a really long time to load. You will lose all of your storage, and that's really bad. Like, we're so impatient. If I go to a website, it takes forever to load, I'm not sticking around. Stuff like that is all the difference in the world. The workshop is $35, and that gets you the live workshop, which is 90 minutes, and also the recording. Scroll down to register.